Hello, hello. Hopefully the connection's well so that way you can hear me. Yay! I'm so happy when I see people. That means that I can see you and that I'm live and the connection is up and working. Today I am at the awesome Eastside Art House in Riverside, in the East Riverside. This is the area that my family has been in since the 1800s. You can see this awesome mural, collaborative thing that the artists have done. Today I'm going live to continue the series of the ride experience. The ride experience helps bring awareness of under-recognized roller skaters who use skating to empower themselves through mobility. Today we have Tula Honkala. Tula is one of the founders of Solidarity Skateboards. She's representing Baltimore, Maryland. They are a roller skater who started as a skateboarder and Tula has a creative mind, a heart of integrity. Tula made such a big impression on me when I met them last year. I had went through Baltimore, Maryland. Let's see, I think in April, maybe March. Tula has a soul full of wisdom, as if she's lived many lives. You're going to want to follow them today to capture the essence of the Baltimore skate community. So you'll be getting Tula's later on. And I'm going to bring her on. Yay! Tula!
It just goes.
I'm so happy. I know we just did a practice and run through, but I can't tell you how happy I am every time I see you on live. Yes, and your smile. It means so much to me. It means so much to me also to be able to say that you are my skate family. So
Yes, I feel very supported by you for sure.
thank you. Thank you. So, Tula, Uh, let's tell everybody a little bit about how we met. When was it that I went through Baltimore? I think, was it after New York? So February, March? March.
It must have been the beginning of summer or something like that of last year, I think.
I was already home last year.
Was the year before? I couldn't have.
I know that I was in New York in February
Mm-hmm.
or March. So maybe March or April I had come through.
Got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't quite remember, but I know what I was around that time. That day I was getting a um me and Kiki were doing a photo shoot for this local magazine called Family First, and they were taking pictures of us that morning. So I had already been at the skate park for about 4 or 5 hours before you came in. And it was just a nice day. So we were just hanging out all day there. And then you rolled up. I had overstretched my ankle. I had never really had a oh, there's Kiki.
What?
Instagram Live. Oh, okay. This is
Kiki
fine. What's up, Instagram?
Hey, Kiki, what's up? Kiko, I missed you. I miss you.
Oh, I miss you too.
Welcome. You can sit in on our interview.
Oh, I'm about to get some food.
You can come join in because I wanted you here. I wanted you here anyway.
Oh, got sucked in. Maybe not. I gotta get some food. I haven't eaten all
Go
day.
ahead. Come and go as you please. We'll be here.
I'll come and go for sure. I love doing that. FaceTime.
But for those of you who don't know, Akiko is the other person who started Solidarity with me, along with Ayaka, who now lives in Hawaii. And yeah, Kiki and I live together and yeah, work together. And that's pretty much
Hey,
and much
Osama.
more.
Oh, sorry. Very random person to be watching.
And Kiki was there the day we met as well, because we were both doing photo shoot for Family First.
Yeah, that was a sick day. I'm glad we all ended up getting to know each other. I'm glad you wined and dined with Tula.
Yeah. We must have spent like 12 hours at the skate park that day.
For sure.
Yeah, when you first came into the skate park, I had overstretched my ankles, so you were being very open and friendly. I'd never seen you before, and I do have to say there is usually only one or two roller skaters who skate at the skate park. It's me, and at that time,
Probably Ace, yeah.
there was Ace, our friend, who was there often. And then Ace hasn't been going as much, so it's usually me and one other person, if anything. Yeah. And so I think to see you there, I was like, who is this person just rolling up who is not like my age, which made me want to talk to you more, and you knew what you were doing, so I was very much like, oh, this is sick. This person has some deeper connection to what they're doing, because you don't see an older person skating unless they've been skating since they were younger. Typically, I do have to say typically, there are some exceptions, but that's been the culture so far. So that was my impression. And then you came over, you asked how I was doing. I said, my ankle hurts. You said, I have a solution for that. Oh, I literally have medicine in my car for your ankle. And it was licorice root extract that you got at the
Zhengu Shui. Everybody knows it. Everywhere I go, it's Zhengu Shui.
Yeah. And you soaked my sock in it and told me to keep it in the sun because it will be sun activated. It will work better. And it sucked the pain right out. Better than CBD, menthol, whatever. Is awesome. So
I forgot about all of that.
Which is probably not a good idea, but I did anyways, and because I didn't feel the pain anymore.
Yeah, people say that.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really great. And then you proceeded to teach maybe about 10 other skaters who just appeared in the skate park. And I was like, I don't know what's going on here. And you were like, didn't you know I was coming to town? I was like, I don't know anything. I just know my skate park, and I don't know. I think you had maybe advertised using CIB, or I don't know.
Just a whole bunch of local people asking them to share around.
Yeah, I had never met any of those people before, so that was nice. I really good to know there were more roller skaters.
People think it's hilarious because I'll show up out of nowhere, and then there'll be a group of people all of a sudden, and then they'll be like, "What is going on?" Especially the skateboarders, because they're so used to every day being the same. Yeah. So when it's different, and then I come up, and then they're like, why does this lady have so many people here? Doesn't she realize that, like, we're skating.
This is where we skate. This is where we
Yeah, that this is where we skate. And then they start seeing people hand me money, and then they're like, who is this woman? She's
skate.
coming from nowhere, and she's making money at our skate park. Like, we just don't understand this. It happens every time I go to a town.
Yeah, it's gonna be me pretty soon. Well, I'm
Yes,
in the next
yes.
couple of months. I'm gonna be doing a class, a skateboarding class for a bunch of uh younger kids. Me and Akiko at a couple different parks in Baltimore through the school system. So,
That's so exciting!
yeah, that's gonna be good.
Wow. Is it going to be through Solidarity?
I don't. They reached. I think they reached out to Solidarity when they asked, and then
Uh-huh.
we introduced ourselves as individuals
Oh, okay.
who could be instructors. So it's, yeah, and I only one of us is gonna get paid to be there, unfortunately, but
Oh,
it's gonna be easier to manage everybody with both of us.
that's true.
And
Hey.
Akiko just met one of the people who like who fundraised for the park in the downtown, the new park in the downtown, and she was saying that it had originally been built and intended to be built for kids, but skateboarders, older men, skateboarders have come in and kind of claimed it and get really pissed when kids come in and like play and like skate in it because they're like, I'm skating here. Like, this is where I'm skating. And they'll just kind of they'll still throw themselves wherever they're
And you
going to
have to
throw
teach there?
themselves.
You have to teach in that
I,
kind of environment?
I'm going to, during the day, I think might be a little bit better. During the weekday, before the workday is technically over, I think it's going to be better.
Yeah.
Also, Kiki and I are very used to dealing with that type of environment because
Yeah.
it's also
I'm
like,
sure. Oh, I've heard so many stories
I think it's,
from you guys. It's amazing.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so that's how we met. Can you tell us a little bit about
Yeah, I
your
mean, our
background and
belief is
family
that
life?
it's like for everybody. So, I see in PG County, and I grew up on a
What?
dead end street. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
And so I was able to play in the street all day with my brother, who is 1 year older than me. We rode our bikes all the time, and eventually once we got to like the preteen age, like started puberty, he started skateboarding, and I really wanted to skateboard too, so I got it, but I wasn't allowed to leave my block, and he was allowed to go and skateboard with his friends, like out of the block. So I totally lost interest. It wasn't.
Oh, you're
It
slowing
wasn't a
down,
social
Tula.
thing anymore, so I stopped, and I kind of had.
Tula, your connection is slowing down. You may want to disconnect and come back. Hey, what's up, everybody? I am here at the Eastside Art House. I'm interviewing Tula Honkala. Tula is out of Baltimore, Maryland. Um, she's just somebody who was really it made a huge impression on me, and I wanted people to see who she is and what she's all about. Okay, there they are. Hello, welcome back. All
Hi,
right, so
sorry.
you
I'm sorry.
it's okay. You left off where you were not allowed to leave your to leave your block while skating, and your big brother was able to go off and go have fun with his friends.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And that was really, I mean, that totally changed my relationship to like movement and where I was able to go in the world, but not necessarily like my physical expression of my own body with myself. But as I grew up, the feeling of being connected to the skate scene was totally disconnected. I didn't really feel, of course, the skate scene really influenced style and like influenced what people were wearing and all sorts of stuff during that time. Um, and as I got older, I think as I got older, I just wasn't close to it. I was doing other things, and I went to art school, and I was commuting a lot. And then I met Akiko in the skate park, and I was doing a lot of sitting around in the skate park, a lot of just waiting, and because we started becoming friends in like 2017, so I started meeting up with them at the skate park, and it wasn't until like maybe even a couple years after that that I even feel like comfortable enough, or like the ego around like being a part of skating or doing whatever. I kind of just like forgot about it, because being in the skate park is very different than like trying it somewhere that's not have doesn't have anything to do with the skate park. So I think I was like, it must have been like around 2 a.m. one night, and I was
Uh-oh.
studio to pick me up to come home, and I was like, give me your skateboard, I want to go skate around the block, because I was highly caffeinated and had ADD medicine that was really keeping me, a stimulant ADD medicine was keeping me up, and like, so I just started skating with their board, and it was just fun and silly, and I really liked how silly it was and just relaxed, and so that's what I just wanted to keep doing that. And
So you're telling me since 2017, that's when you really started to hit skateboarding more?
I think it was after that. It's more 28,
Really?
more
I'm blown
2018.
away from how good you are at roller skating. I thought you were skating a lot more
No,
before that.
I was very limited. I mean, I was doing it a
Wow.
lot, but I was very limited. Oh, thank you. That's really sweet.
That's amazing. I'm thoroughly impressed. I did not realize that at all.
That's really sweet of you. But I, again, like the only reason why, like, I think I got to progress was because me and Akiko's relationship became so, we were really incorporating each other into our lives, and they were skating way more than anyone else, and they have been skating way longer than me. And so because I had a friend at the park, I could join them, or if I had a friend in the world somewhere, I could join with them. I could meet up with them and practice, and they were so patient. And because I think I was really lighthearted about it, and I had grown up with a background in just like kind of being a little bit of a wild child, like running barefoot everywhere, just being silly and just like hurting myself all the time. I wasn't really like, I didn't need a lot of coddling um, to like go out and go do something like that. Like I was really up to the challenge of like being pushed and kind of like going street skating, wherein I have never gone street skating before. And so that kind of like definitely was, it is very painful the first couple of years when you're learning how to
Yeah.
skateboard, especially if you're trying to
Tell me
progress
about it.
at a high rate. Yeah. If you're just kind of going, I mean, depending on how anybody skates, it can be painful, but a lot of people, I've watched a lot of people progress and it not have to be a painful experience for them.
Wow. All right. So that's your skate experience. I'm impressed. All right. Um now let's talk about your art.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
how how old were you when you realized you wanted to pursue art?
oh, I was, I don't think art, I'm very privileged. I don't think art was ever something that I was like, I'm gonna pursue this as a career, as a career. I think I saw it as I decided to pursue art because it gave me the space to do the other things that I wanted to do. So, like for example, when I was in middle school, I also, my background being my mom's went to undergrad for art when I was 6 years old. I grew up with her. And before that, she was hustling and making art pieces when I was very little. So I was surrounded by her art. My dad makes art as well. And so I watched her go through undergrad and then get her master's degree all while I was growing up. And then I decided to go to art high school right when she graduated. And then I decided to go to the same art college that she had gone to. Um, and this all stemmed because I couldn't get into the math program at this other school. So it's either I was going to have to choose art or I was going to have to go to my neighborhood school, which wasn't is not that great of a public school for high school. So art was the only way I could get out of like the neighborhood, or like just, yeah, I couldn't use any other path basically, because I don't know, my brain works in a certain way. So I decided to go for art, and I haven't finished undergrad at Micah, but because I decided to pause. But I love art. I love the path that it can form for people to express
Yeah,
themselves.
you're a great artist.
Thank you. I haven't been making, I've been redeveloping my relationship to art since being in school, because as you know, like kind of the school version of art has been like is a pathway type thing. It's like a life path. So now that I'm not in school for art, I've been redeveloping my relationship to art and how I want to work on art outside of school.
Even after you're done with school, you still have to build a relationship with art, even if you finish school.
It chooses me. I don't it comes into my life. I mean, I end up craving, I miss it and I crave doing it when I don't do it. So I end up suffering when I don't do art. So that's, I mean, that's the I feel like that's pretty normal for anybody. If they don't express themselves, it's becomes very difficult in your brain. Or at least maybe neurotypical people. Or I don't know.
So let's talk about solidarity, skateboards, and activism. Why did you two decide to start it? Or you three, because there were three of you, right? So
Yeah.
why did you decide to start solidarity?
Well, we started Solidarity in 2020, I think. Yes, we started Solidarity in 2020, in the summer of 2020, which, as anybody can remember, was during a very difficult part of the pandemic, and George Floyd had also been murdered, and all the protests were going on, and everybody was very insular within their own physical communities. And the only way that I was seeing other people within my community was going to the skate park. And that's when I would see anybody else other than my immediate friend group. And so with that, we were just trying, I think, the what started Solidarity was we wanted to kind of activate the skate space in terms of advocating, like seeing the power of skaters and the way they move through the city, and then the way they move through the world as an alternative means of movement can be really powerful, um, and really inspiring for other people. And it's fast and it's efficient, and it's beautiful. And we wanted to activate that, and in terms of advocating for um, like to defund the police, like to create a march to defund the police in Baltimore, but also in response to the George Floyd thing. So
Wow.
we wanted to.
What a reason to start a skate organization. That's powerful.
Yeah, and since then, as that was something that was an event that spurred the idea, and what came out of that was we wanted to then make something a little bit more permanent and ongoing, which was some sort of organization that can support trans skaters and Black trans skaters and queer people in the skate park and skate spaces. Because as we know, Black trans people are some of the most vulnerable people within our communities, especially towards police violence and state violence. And so it goes straight into all of that stuff, goes straight into that. So we wanted, and also the skate park is a public space where anybody can be. So advocating for other people's presence and Black trans presence there is also very important, just as it is advocating in any other public space. And as we all have seen, the skate parks can be kind of like these microchasms of society, like the worst and the best of just society, really really condensed. So it can be intense there sometimes, but it's
Especially in Baltimore. I mean, out of every city I travel to, even even New York. Like in New York, you didn't have it was busy, you know, but it wasn't like Baltimore. It was like people were really using it as a communal space, not just as a skate space, but as a communal space, which is quite different. And then not only that, but they were using it, so many people were using it like that it started to get crowded, you know. And it's not that big of a park. The downtown park is not that big of a park, and so it gets packed really quickly. And everybody's using it as a community space.
Yeah, and that's definitely it amplified during the pandemic, like a lot, because that there was no you weren't gonna go anywhere else to, I don't know, that was an outside space that was fun, that you could have. It's like if you were to have a huge group of people riding bikes, that's one version of like a community who are outside expressing themselves, but not even, I wouldn't even say it's as expressing as it is getting an exercise. But skate park is like, you don't have to be on the go, you don't have to have anything special. You can ride your friend's skateboard or your friend's skates. You don't have to really be skating to be at the skate park if you don't want to. You can really hang out with people. You can really, and you can have bursts of energy there. It's really the perfect place for anyone who has ADD, which I feel like all my friends I have who skating have ADD or some form of, I don't know. Just they are moving and talking at the same time. It helps them talk and it helps them communicate themselves.
It's such a social environment. Like in the short amount of time that I had been going to Baltimore, which over a period of I think 6 years, I went 4 times, or maybe 5 years, I went 4 times. And just in that short amount of time, it went from, you're right, like the pandemic really forced people into the skate park in large numbers, and it became kind of like this hangout where people were just there to like, hey, I got my skates, I got my board, you know, we're gonna skate a little bit, we're gonna hang a little bit, we're gonna go to the store, come back. It was really like that, and I kind of liked that. I kind of liked that because it was so like a locally organic and local organic scene that skate scene that it, you know, when you go to other places and it's a really legendary spot. It's just so many other people from other places or
Mhm.
just skateboarders who were, you know, just hardcore skateboarders who were just passing through, you know, but in Baltimore, it's 90% locals.
Yeah, because I don't think it's not that high profile of a place for people to want to visit. So it's not like the fanciest skate park. It has a monster bowl. It not even
It's
like the
a
biggest monster.
great
The
park though.
parking's
It's
just
well laid out. It's well
I
laid out.
yeah, it's yeah, I cannot say I've definitely skated there while about like 40 other people are skating there at the same time, if not more. Like it's hectic and yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
I really appreciate that.
So, can you tell us the story? I know you told me the story about having to, the roller skaters and skateboarders having to take action there to protect some of the trans skaters. Um, I believe there was an incident that happened. Can you tell us that story? So that way people can see the true power of skate advocacy and what a community who cares about its uh, population, despite their identity, what they can do to protect each other.
Yeah, I think I can't even necessarily come out with like a feeling of a conclusion from that event because I think, you know, if I think a lot of things happened afterwards and I'm just hoping all I can say is that it has led us to this point, which is a point where I mean, Kiko and I, and maybe hopefully a couple other trans people feel a little bit more comfortable skating there. But other than that, what happened was that we had a friend of ours had put up a trans rights mural on one of the skate obstacles, and someone who we knew, um, I think not I and I don't mean to like villainize it because we can all like not understand other people in so many ways, but I don't think they necessarily understood like that trans rights was not like they were seeing trans rights as a class thing because they were seeing a lot of white trans people coming into the park instead of more POC, and they also started seeing more femme people coming into the park. So I think they saw trans rights and they were like, they thought in their head, no, Black Lives Matter, not trans rights. And so they live streamed them defacing the mural, and it was really just it was just infuriating. And Kiko decided to have a sit-in at the park in protest and used their platform to invite all of their friends who live close by to the park to sit on the mural, to take up space. And so that's what happened. Um, and
And
eventually,
that spot in particular that you're talking about is probably one of the most skated spots in all of the skate park. So everybody wants to skate that spot.
yeah,
And for people to come and to sit down as a protest, it's a big deal.
yeah. So it definitely there was no one else skating the park at that point, because everybody was kind of just observing the ordeal, and the only people who were skating were the guy who spray painted over it, not him but his friends, and they were skating past us like they didn't care, like they didn't even see like 15 people sitting there or 15 plus people sitting there, so it was pretty obviously
So there were,
it was very intense. Okay, and
yeah,
I just want to say that what ended up happening was a friend of ours was getting in their face, was antagonizing his friends, and I think, I don't know if he spit in her face or something like that happened. Anyways, they started fighting, and because they perceived this person as a girl, they punched Kiki instead. So like they were antagonizing his friends, and then so these guys punched Kiki instead because they could fight Kiki and not the girl. And yeah, everything just kind of just really got heightened, and a lot of different fighting happened, which was violent and like not, it was just very chaotic, because everybody was trying to break everybody apart. I was trying to get Kiki out of there.
Yeah, everybody was sitting with their arms locked on that mini ramp obstacle, right? It's
I
just
don't
like a
know
quarter pipe,
arms.
right? Were
I
you
don't know
guys?
if it was arms locked. I'm not sure what. I'm not sure. I was upset because this person, when I had showed up, this stuff had already happened. This altercation already happened. And
Oh, I
I was like,
see.
and we're letting this person still skate in the park in front of
Yeah.
everybody. This person who's already been actively violent towards a Black trans person. Like, we're gonna all let this happen. And that escalated again to more fighting. And then once we got out of there, and this wasn't even with the original person. Like, Akiko and the person who had spray painted over it were trying to talk. We're trying to talk it out. Like, very
Wow.
simply trying to talk
Wow.
it out. And this is just between people who are trying to support each other's side. So it's understanding it's like the people behind us trying to support us. And what they were doing was escalating the situation to a place where it couldn't be resolved. So I'm going to say, out of this situation that happened, Solidarity, we just try to go through these different ways of talking it out. I can't remember, if Kiko is here, they would remember the words, but I'm really drawing a lot of word blanking. I can't remember the words for like these ways of like conflict resolution. But anyways, we talked it out with like the original person, but the guys who had like been violent and who had also then proceeded to like drive through the city and like follow us, and like it was basically like a high-speed car chase for like 45 minutes.
You guys got followed afterwards?
Yeah, by the guys who were like
Oh my God.
doing that. Yeah,
That's outrageous.
It sucked for sure.
And these were other skateboarders.
Yeah, and they were there. We had to come back to the skate park eventually because we wanted to skate, and they were there. Yeah. And so it wasn't like some.
Wow.
It's not like an easy solvable. It was very hard because their egos were definitely hurt in a way where we felt like they were going to be physically violent towards us, and we weren't sure if they were going to be, and there was no way of really like figuring that out. So I think since then we've just it's been like 2 years, I guess. Maybe it's been a year. I don't know how long it's been. Sorry, time is such a crazy thing
especially because of the pandemic. Was it 2020? Or was it 2019?
It wasn't. It was during the pandemic. It must have been 2020 or something.
So probably 2020 during the pandemic, and you guys are standing up for trans rights in the skate park. And a group of people come to block the skateboarder's most favorite skate object. And they get mad. One of them spits on you guys. And then the one who started it actually tries to resolve it, but the rest of them start escalating the issue.
Yeah.
And
so we try to, so we just try to teach anybody who is wants to be a part of Solidarity, de-escalation. We really,
Okay.
what we try to say is, if you're trying to protect somebody who's being harmed, the best way you can do it is to be nonviolent and to de-escalate a situation, especially if you have the privilege of not being harmed in that situation, or if you can talk to the person who's causing harm to de-escalate, um, the violence, but also first making sure prioritizing that the person who's getting harmed is who has gotten harmed isn't no longer getting harmed. So there's so many roles that can go into doing something like that, and all of that has developed out of this situation where people are coming from different places, and you never know how people are gonna, when people's egos get hurt, they often resort to physical violence, and a lot of that is just you can't do anything about it unless you just try to talk to somebody, or you have a system in place where you're present and you.
So you guys have a system. If something like that happens again, to de-escalate it in the skate park.
um I feel I feel like I don't want to call it a system because I don't know if it's applicable to other for other
Okay.
people, but I
But I
would
mean,
I
it
would
works
like
for
it to
your
be.
part, right? It works for
Yeah,
your location.
for the most part, yeah. If every person is willing to participate in it, it can work.
Uh-huh.
But of course, if people are not willing to participate in de-escalation, and the person who's escalating the situation doesn't want to de-escalate, then it gets more complicated. Then you have to
Okay.
have somebody who's also willing to just physically block that person, so the person who has gotten harmed can leave, or so that people can go and not be in the way of harm. And that involves somebody who can physically block someone who wants to be violent. And this is the reason why I want to be really big, strong man. I wish I could be that person, but I'm a 5'2", like 120 pounds. I need to go to karate classes or something.
You know what's amazing is that um, because of the size of the park, how many people can come, then you have this pandemic and people are already on edge. For you guys to get to that point and then not have it be more violent is a big deal. Like you guys, you have really created something that I think skate parks in other areas could learn from. Probably, you said you're going to Oakland. Places like Oakland, I think, could learn from
Mm.
what
Yeah, well,
you went through.
yeah, as you know, Solidarity is also, like, the name Solidarity is in response to the name Unity, which is the skateboarding company in Oakland and LA based. It's West Coast based. I think it's more Oakland based. So Unity really started it, and I don't know if I hope I don't know if anybody follows Thrasher, but Thrasher just posted one of their skateboarders on their Instagram, and anyways, so they're at that level, and they have really done the work and done a lot of the work and created a beautiful scene. They've inspired us, so we've learned from them maybe more than, and I hope they could learn from us. I don't know what they could learn from us, but what they have taught us is that we need to make space for ourselves in public space where we appreciate each other, and um, we don't need to look for approval from, like, the people who have already been skating. And this is kind of another thing. It might not be on the same vibe of, like, we're we're all in the skate park together, but at the end of the day, not like, sometimes the microaggressions that come from straight people or cis people are intense, or white people are very intense for different identities. And so we try to create a space also where we see each other and we acknowledge each other, and we've gotten that from unity. And we've gotten a lot of strength from that type of community building. Queer skate is another one. We have a queer skate in Baltimore, which I started going to before, like, before the pandemic and at the start of the pandemic. And they kind of stopped during the pandemic. They stopped doing meetups because they felt like doing meetups would put at risk people who are most vulnerable, immunocompromised people, which are, there's a big percentage of those people who are POC, queer people. And yeah, any type of POC queer person who's immunocompromised as well. Yeah, anyways.
Well, it's still such an amazing story, and I look forward to what the people in Baltimore continue on, as far as teaching classes, as far as bringing awareness and building community brick by brick, because that is something that even, yes, there's other places like Unity or other organizations like Unity and Queer Skate, and the Queer Skate crews that have done that and that are doing that. It's so different when you're in a space that has microaggression already inside, built into it. It just comes as part of the skate park. It's not like you're going to well, I can compare it to Venice Beach, because Venice Beach and Potrero Skate Park in San Francisco were some of the most aggressive skate parks. And it's not really a place for casual skating, So to develop a community inside of that community, it's a big deal. Okay, so I'm going to continue what I did with Ravina's and with Ravina's interview, and ask questions that my mom had asked. So shout out to my mother.
Shout out to my mother.
Yeah. So what is one of the most interesting skate experiences that you've had?
I was thinking about this when you asked me. I think it must have been, I just thought of something, but that might be better for the next question. Okay, I think one of the most interesting skate experiences, when Kiko and I were traveling, and skateboards were really easy to bring with us. So while we were traveling, and we were in the Smoky Mountains, and I took some clips of Kiki skating on this turn-off lookout overview to the mountains. And when you have a turn-off overview thing, when you can turn off the side of the road on like a parkway or something and like look at the site, usually there's like a cliff or something. And I was taking these videos of Kiki skating every once in a while when there was like a break in the tourists with the scenic view behind them. And I decided to put my phone down, and then they tried it one more time, and then they fell off the sidewalk onto the other side of the scenic overview. So like off the side of the hill. And to me, I was like, that's it. Kiki just left to my life. I just watched them do a skate trick, like ollie up onto up onto a sidewalk, and they were leaning too far forward, so their front tail caught and they went forward, and they tripped and they fell off the side of the scenic overview. And I went over and I ran over, and luckily right at that spot it was just a nice shallow little hill, and it didn't get really steep until like maybe like another 5 feet.
Wow.
You're fucking lucky. You're so lucky. And I wish I caught that on camera, because that's one for the fucking books. She scared the shit out of me. I think I'll probably always remember that.
Okay. Share an unexpected positive experience that made you believe in the kindness of people.
I actually was I was in LA pre-pandemic 2020, right during New Year's, and I was there by myself, and I had met somebody on Tinder, and I saw that they were a skater and they were queer, and I was really excited to meet them and talk with them, and I realized that Kiki and them were friends from watching their skate videos on Instagram. And so I got really excited because Kiki knew them, and so I started talking to them, and we hung out for a full 24 hours. And within that time, we went to a queer skate meetup at El Sereno skatepark.
Yes.
There were just I was just an out-of-towner visiting, and everybody was very kind to me there. Everybody at that meetup was very kind to me, and very like, offering and giving, and the person there was letting me use their board, and I got clips. It was just all so sweet. And I felt like I could then, skateboarding really became something for me that would allow me to come to these places within a trans and queer community, and find people who had resources to just offer joy in the moment, which is like enough. It's enough for me. And I also think if I really needed anything else, like, they probably wouldn't hesitate to offer. And so that was just like, okay, I get it. I really get it. And a lot of those people are affiliated with other people with Unity, or just know that. And it was the same energy of just like, we're here together, we're gonna skate together, just do the most with what we got. We're the people who showed up. It was just, I don't know, immaculate. Immaculate, like, kindness, I think. Yeah.
That's where I feel like the skate community should be.
Yeah, and this was when I was skateboarding. So I hadn't started roller skating till the fall of 2020, I think. Or something like that. So this was before I was a skateboarder. I was using skateboarding as a means to do that. However, I don't know if I pulled up as a roller skater. I'm sure it would also be very kind, because I'm very friendly to skateboarders, and I understand, like,
I've been to that meetup before.
Yeah.
They had like 3 of them before the pandemic, and then the pandemic came and it died.
Yeah, I'm sad it died, but I'm glad I was able to, as a visitor, to just participate. Yeah, I think that was really awesome. That was one of my favorites. And also, yeah, definitely made me understand, because as you know, like, this is what I was saying, I hadn't experienced that. I hadn't experienced anything like that within skateboarding until I was 22, or however old I was during that time. So all before that, I never really experienced this open arms type vibe from the skateboarding community or the skate community at all. So that I trusted. So it I didn't even trust Hamden. I didn't even trust the local
Honestly,
park here.
that's where I find it at, is in the queer skate community. It's like where I feel at home, and it's strange because you know, I've I've been in both the skateboard and the roller skate community for over 11 years, and I never really felt welcomed in either one of them. But I'm starting to feel whenever I go to the queer skate meetups, I'm right at home.
Mm.
And the crazy thing is, I don't necessarily feel I'm queer, right? But I don't necessarily feel that it is even the fact that I'm queer that makes me feel comfortable there. It's just the fact that they really are open to building it as in a more organic or family style.
Yeah. Because I think it matters what you do, you know? So if you show up and you're not like in a or if you're not like following up on people's invitations to come join, then you might not feel like, I don't know, then you're not going to really enjoy yourself. But if you participate and you're adding to it and you're also protecting it and cherishing it, then it helps build. It helps build for sure.
Okay, two more questions and then we're done. Do you have a training regimen?
A training regiment.
I'm sure this would fit. I'm sure this would fit for Ravina more because Ravina is like pushing a longboard across the entire country, you know?
I know.
I'm sure that would be more a question more for her. But you're like a training regimen.
I feel
I
like
crawl out of bed and I put food in my mouth and
yeah, I
I
feel
put
like
skates on and I go.
I think I think sometimes I would add makeup to the list. I guess I would be more of like a prep. How do you prepare yourself to go out? But that's no. I don't think I have a training regimen. All I have to say is that I know I will feel bad when I roll, like if I take a 1 week break from roller skating. After the first day I come back, I'm gonna feel not that great. So I try to go at least every 3 days or so. I try to go.
That's very true. We were just talking about that here at the Eastside Art House, and one guy was like, "If I take 3 weeks off, that's it. I have to start all over again." I
Yeah.
said, "If I take 2 weeks off, I feel like I've taken 2 years off."
Yeah, it probably changes as you get older as well, which I totally understand. Like your body's not as forgiving. Like
Just
it's gonna be,
start all over again.
you didn't do it yesterday, so you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna do it the same today for sure. I think I really trust my body. Um, so I, it's probably not that healthy. I know I should stretch more, but when I go to the skate park, I feel really like my body supports me to just kind of do whatever I want to do still. And I'm kind of just basking in that for right now. And I'm sure as I get older or as my body changes, I'm going to have to change my practice, which I'm okay with. I think my lifestyle will also change as I get older too. So my life right now is kind of like pieces in this bubble that is created out of the pandemic. And
I didn't start wearing knee pads till I was 30, 32, maybe 30, 33 or 34.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
How
was
are
street
you?
skating, hill bombing, no knee pads, no wrist guards, maybe a helmet in San Francisco just in case a car hit me, but
Yeah.
nothing else.
Yeah, I have to say I do have some pretty bad habits. I try not to push myself. I try not to push myself
It'll
if I know I don't have my
you'll
pads on.
know because I was really wise with my body. Like as time went on, I was like, it's time for pads.
Yeah, I
Let me
trust
go
that.
invest in some.
Yeah, I think I want during the summer I'm gonna get to a place where I'm gonna want to start trying things that I should be wearing knee pads for sure, and a helmet. But right now I'm not really trying to push myself in that way. I'm being more flow, and I know when I fall down, me and the ground are very close. When I fall down, I can roll in a certain way, or
Uh-huh.
I can fall in a certain way, um, for the most
Y-
part. Or I just
Yeah,
lose
your
flow.
flow. You need to put more videos up because people need to see your flow style. I swear, Tula is probably one of the most naturally gifted skaters that I've seen on my tour last year, and it's just so simple and easy to where I thought you were skating as a skateboarder like for years before. So it's amazing that it was only maybe 1 or 2 years before.
I do want to add, I did before I roller skated. I did I grow up ice skating, so that was a good.
Oh,
I like going fast, so I was ice skating really fast. I was skiing. My dad grew up in Montana and took me skiing a lot when I was younger, and still now sometimes. But I like to ski very fast, and then I was biking before a big. When I first met Kiki, I was biking around everywhere in Baltimore, and I was fixed geared biking in Baltimore. I was biking
wow.
very fast.
Yeah.
That's way more dangerous than anything I'm doing now. I
Yeah.
have to say, not
Especially
doing.
what you had no brakes? Did that bike have no brakes?
It had. I don't know. It depended on which bike it was. I had one that didn't have one, and I had one that did. But
Dang.
I also lived on like the third floor of a building. I had to carry my bike up, so I just wanted to keep
Yeah.
it as light as
Uh-huh.
possible. I didn't want it
Yeah.
to weigh anything, so I was
And
like,
then
"Fuck
you
it."
chose roller skating, and roller skates are heavier than a bike.
I
So
know.
you
I
have
was
to go
like,
up the stair, walk upstairs with skates that are
uh,
heavier than a
yeah,
bike.
I live on the fourth floor, and I decided to walk up the stairs in my roller skates sometimes. I would do that as a boot camp. I would do that when I started skating. I would walk up my entire flight of stairs on my toe stops to get my calves in shape. And it's
Oh
54
yeah,
stairs.
that's what I
It's a
tell
lot.
everybody to do.
Walk upstairs, just stair stepper climb with your toe stops.
Yes.
You'll get there.
Yes. Okay, what do you think about while you skate? You're like, just not hurting myself. Just
Yeah, I
don't
was
hurt
about to say.
myself.
I don't think. I think. Okay. I think. Am I really about? Am I not? Am I really about to do this trick in an anxiety type way or a way where I'm scared? I'm like, am I prepared? Like, did I breathe the right way? Did I blink at the right time so that when I get to the obstacle I'm gonna do something on, I my body's ready to move? Or am I gonna say fuck it? Or like I did blink at the wrong time, but I'm just gonna say fuck it, and I'll probably scrap that one and probably won't land it, but whatever, you know. But at least I can practice spinning my body. Like I've been trying to 360 in the pool and land on the coping, like do a full cab in the pool.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
remember you were
so
doing it on the smaller stuff.
yeah, I've gotten it in the pool already, but I don't have it consistently. So
Uh-huh.
now for example for that I'm like, oh, like all right, like am I gonna make it? And most of the time I don't make it, but I just try to have fun. I'm like, whatever. And then I slide back in and I'm like, okay, what can I do now? Or if I really want to be in like a hyped up space, I have my headphones in and I'm listening to my own music. But sometimes I can feel that same way without my music, and it's taken me like 3 years to figure out how to do that for myself at the skate park. It's taken me a long time to like feel like good being present there, and feel like I can be silly and like feel like myself, which is a privilege, and all I want is that to extend that to other people, or for other people to feel that way. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. So if you want to follow Tula, can you give them your Instagram at?
Yeah, it's Tula Boola, TulaBoola.
Tula Bula, TulaBoola. And Tula, I can't wait for you to upload more videos because you guys are gonna want to see this. You guys are gonna want to see her flow. I know. I don't have videos myself. I'm like, whatever. I don't have anybody to follow me around, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it would be great because you have a certain type of natural flow that I think, yeah, and you're so light on your feet. And I think people will definitely dig that style. So share some videos for us, and that way we can share them and get people to see you kind of have a floaty style, you know. It's very different than what I because me, I'm like you know, hard. I go hard and I want to hit things hard and boom and bash and bang, and you're
I
like,
admire that too. I know. I don't know. I think it's just kind of light and giggly. It just, I can't, it does what it wants. But if you want to see videos, if you want to see videos of me skating, people can also, Akiko edits videos all the time and puts them up on Solidarity. So
there you go. Follow Solidarity as well. Can you give them the @ for Solidarity?
Yeah. Solidarity is Solidarity Skateboards. So it's not Solidarity Skates, but it's Solidarity Skateboards.
Solidarity Skateboards.
And yeah, I'm a roller skater though, and Solidarity has other roller skaters who are involved, and yeah, I think everybody is kind of a part of that, and BMX, like a BMX biker here or there. So.
Super rad. Well, I can't wait to come back to Baltimore, and if anybody wants to visit Baltimore, follow Tula.
Yeah.
So you can feel right at home and welcomed in the Baltimore skate scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Tula. Yes. Big love. Give my love to Kiki.
I will. I'm gonna go check on them now.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.